Milanista everywhere. How's it going? Welcome to the Milanistas 360 podcast slash Defensive Dynamo podcast slash post game fucking therapy for a huge shit show. Just so we can discuss how buying new players doesn't necessarily make you any better. Anyway, right. So I guess who do we start with? We want to go alphabetical, so let's start with maybe Lab Gorilla. How have you been? Did you watch the game? What did you think of that?
Did I watch the game?
Yeah.
That's why I'm here. I'm here because I watched the game, mate. I'm here because the rage. So I jokingly said, and I show everyone, every Milan fan needs one of these, so that when you hit your head against a wall, where every time we do a boneheaded play, you don't hurt yourself too much. It's an absolute joke what we're doing right now. If anybody wanted to know what happens when you don't have a full preseason with the players, what happens when you don't buy players early in the transfer window and they're not ready, have a look. Everybody was saying we got plenty of time. Everybody was saying it. Plenty of time, guys. We can get really good buys, save a few million here and there. We were convinced. By the way, if we finish the transfer window like this, we're in serious trouble. And I'm not joking about serious trouble of embarrassing ourselves in the league. You imagine this squad going up in the Champions League against actually talented squads. Can you imagine this lot doing it? They couldn't pass today. They couldn't do anything. It was, again, the same thing we saw against Torino. And I generally thought when we went to 1-1, we're going to push on from here. No. Massive high line. Nicko as the defensive guy. How many times have we seen a massive high line under Pioli? A hugely high line against Pioli. And a huge gap between them and the goalkeeper. Have fun, guys. Just lob it over the top and run. Shane, you called it during the game. You called it. That guy that just came on, what was his name? Cancellari or whatever.
Cancellation.
He's gone. Yeah. He's like, he's going to score next. He's going to score next. Bang. He scores. It was, guys, honestly, I can't. You've got to wonder what's going to happen without Morata, without a player that actually wants it. This is going to be very, very, very hard. I 94 Mass just had a comment from you saying he feels that this season is going to be especially hard. I think you might just be right, bro. You might just be right. You might just be right. That was an absolute shit show. Guys, I don't know any other word to put it. I'll just say, please, everyone, buy yourself a helmet. I can recommend you a few. And wear it when you watch Milan, all right? Just don't stay at home watching the game on your own because you're going to hurt yourself.
94 Mass. Just a quick one. 94 Mass. I thought it's not just going to be this season. Wait till Redbird finally get the stadium built in the next decade. And then they'll sell us to someone that actually gives a fuck and wants to win something. So it's not going to be just this season, man.
Saudis, if you're listening, Saudis or wealthy Indonesians, buy the club right now. Please save us.
That's it, man. So, Nicko, what was your take
on this? Where do I begin? Well, during the pregame today, I called it. I said, this team, just like Torino, is not going to fall into the bullshit of high pressing us, and which allows our fucking tiki-taka build-up to work. They're going to sit back in the mid-block, which they did. They set up in a 4-3-3 mid-block. They didn't press the ball at all. And if you saw, they were forcing us to go wide. Was exactly what I called it during the pregame. That's what the coach likes to do from Parma. Force the opponents to go wide. And exactly what he did. He took away the middle of the pitch from us, and we couldn't do jack. Right? Leao was wasteful. Yeah, he had this one-on-one skills. He got past his players. But his deliveries were off. His shooting was god-awful. So they probably knew that too. It's like, let Leao do his thing. I don't care if he beats us 1v1. He's not going to do anything when he like on the finishing touch, which happened time and time again. Defensively, again, no pressure on the ball. Leao was sitting around there when we were high pressing. Leao was somewhere off, like lazy, looking at his Instagram posts. Our midfielders were non-existent. Again, defensively, they weren't counter pressing. They weren't trying to recover the ball. Nothing. Which that's not a surprise for us Milanista at all at this point.
Nicko.
Yeah.
Nicko, just a quick one. I find it hard to believe, but it actually happened.
What's
right?
that?
So for nearly most of that game, I couldn't remember seeing RLC doing anything.
But we expect that, fellas. He had one decent play where I think he got his foot in the way of, like, they were trying to score in the first. They had a shot on goal and Lost Cheeks got in the way of the play. That was the only decent thing he did all game. As a matter of fact, he flopped. Remember at the beginning of the game, he flopped.
Yeah,
he was trying to keep the ball away from the other player, which was like 20 pounds lighter than him, and he decides to flop, and the ball goes the other way. So, yeah, Emerson Royale wasn't that great either. Yeah, and it's not an upgrade, Mass. Emerson Royale it's his first game, sure, but on that one of those last plays, they almost scored a goal. They were countering. Emerson Royale was way off out of position as well, by the way. Same thing with Calabria does time and time again. And about the high line, fellas, and I've said it before, the rest defense, which is what we're playing, right? That when we have the ball in the attack and we're setting up our defense behind the ball, we're playing. It's stupid what we're doing. We're doing 2-2. We have 2 center backs and 2 midfielders, and we're setting up for failure to get countered time and time again. We got countered by Torino the same way. We got countered again by Kubali. That kid balled out, by the way, today.
He did. He played well, yeah.
My God, the things he was doing with the ball, fucking making Tajani, putting him on skates and setting up, the counterattacks time and time again. Christ, why can't we get a player like that?
No, this is why I'm really especially angry at this fucking result, even more so than the Torino result. It's not because it's not because of the points as such. It's because we deserve to lose versus a team that is essentially doing the same thing as we're doing, aka Moneyball, but doing it way more successfully.
They have to do Moneyball because they don't have the same funds as us, obviously.
But they completely destroyed us today.
Yeah, because they have a better coach.
I wouldn't even put it down to the coach. I think,
I think as well.
Honestly, I think this team are going to be playing in the Europa League next season, and that's how Moneyball should work. And then you look at us, which are moneyballing ourselves in the balls, right, by getting players like Royale, which I don't want to be too harsh on him because believe me, right, what I seen was shocking. However, it's the very first game for a player. He's going to have to adjust, right? So I don't want to be too harsh. But that being said, I mean, you did call it, Nicko. I think you said he's not going to be an upgrade on Calabria. We're kind of seeing that. We haven't upgraded anywhere, ideally. Or, I mean, looking at the way that the transfer market's gone, we've replaced Giroud, arguably with a player that's going to score less goals, I would say. So that's by no means an upgrade. Even I know that Morata will probably do more for the team, and that'll be great. The right back position, right? I mean, have we really upgraded Calabria? In terms of speed, we have. But, in terms of all over play, I doubt that we have. Who else did we get? Pavlovic. Pavlovic was great this game.
He looked good.
Listen,
he really did look good.
Thing on Pavlovic, he had a decent game. He was really good on the ball and made some really good passes. Good
but
position.
He was playing as a fucking CDM for most of that game. Did you notice that?
But on that second goal, where's my notes? God damn it. On the second goal, so Royale was out of position, right? because he's Fonseca is pushing his fullbacks up the pitch. Theo and Royal or Calabria when Calabria was in. So they're putting him out of position time and time again, right? But in this case, they got the ball in on the wing, right? I forget the kid's name. The kid with the blonde hair looked like Salamakers. He was running up down the left side of the pitch. And what happens? They get the cross in. Pavlovic, who was the last man in defense, was out of position. He pulled a Tomori where he wasn't marking anybody inside the box. Is it totally his fault? No, but he could have positioned himself a little bit better because that guy got right behind him. He made a run right behind him because he didn't look behind his fucking head, make sure there was somebody making a run behind him, like it always happens with our defense, and he scored a goal. So yeah, Pavlovic had a decent game, but to say great, no, I mean, fuck, nobody had a great game.
Nicko, I'd say he looked like a definitive upgrade on Chow.
Correct. Yeah, 100%.
That's fair.
He kind of showed up the difference. I'd say in just this one game, he showed up what we've been just absolutely desperate for, some improvement on Chow. Now, the question I have to you guys and to everybody is Gabia dead?
He should be playing with Pavlovic.
Where is he?
Yeah, because he's Italian.
Well, so this is my other point. This is my other point. All right. So I'm going to say this because I've been banging on about this. Matteo Cancellieri. Let's give him the correct name and his full name, all right? Because he deserves it for the performance he put in when he came on. The commentators said he's a very fast, young Italian striker. Watch out for this kid. When they give him the ball, he's going to run at the defenders. Did he? Yes, he did. He delivered exactly what he was going to do. But did you see in the last few minutes, there was a moment where he ran the ball into the corner and he hung on to it with all of his might and all of his strength until two Milan players got onto him and knocked it out. I think he might even have got a corner of it. But that's what I call grinta. That word comes from players that understand the shirt, that understand the importance of the club, and they understand what the fans in that stadium want to see. Yeah? Did you hear how the fans in that stadium exploded when he did that? How they all cheered for him when he did that? We have nobody on that pitch right now, nobody on that pitch capable of performing that way and giving everything for that shirt. And I go back to a point I've made before. Filippo Inzaghi said to Forlani after we lost the last Milan derby, you need more Italian players because they will understand what the derby means. They will understand what that shirt, what this badge means to us and to the fans in that stadium. So they won't just walk off and go, oh, well, we've lost another game. The embarrassment of turning up today with a squad playing like that, and then, I said the ultimate objective for this ownership is to remove all Milanismo from the club, to remove the meaning of Milanismo, and to remove every last remaining player that can sing the national anthem. Okay? It's an objective of theirs. And I want to point the finger, and I'm not the only one that's saying this. Look at everyone at management, and I mean everyone at management. Don't just look at Fonseca. Don't just look at Ibrahimovic. Who is in charge of coming up and almost building a third of the French national squad in our team? Yes, they are talented. Don't get me wrong. Theo Hernandez is good. Magnan is good. But I want those young Italian players to be at least named on the subs bench. To leave them off, to do what? Who cares about the futuro? We need to see these kids have a go, right? None of these guys have any idea what it means to be a Milan fan, to be a Milan player, and the history of the club. Jovic, if anyone at that ownership knew anything about the club, they would not have allowed Jovic to take that shirt number. They would have told him, hell no, go get something else. That's what I would have done as a Milan fan. You do not deserve the number 9 shirt, mate. You earned that. You earned that number. That's, it's a rant I'm going to have, and I'm going to have this. Probably going to get worse over the year because today, the moment Emerson Royale came on, the objective was completed. No Italian players left on that pitch. I believe that soon we will be starting players. We will be starting squads because I think everyone knows Calabria is going to be dropped, right? Calabria is going to be dropped and Royale is going to kick in. Unless he keeps doing what he did in the last 10 minutes. Because that was truly criminal, man. What he did in the last 10 minutes.
Listen, you have two mid right backs. How are they going to push each other to get better, to improve?
Push each other to get worse.
Exactly. Where's the competition in that?
Who can score the most own goals, I think, is going to be. I don't know, dude.
For God's sake.
It was going to be out of position the most during the season.
Fun sake is, right? He's literally in a situation where when he looks at the right back position, right, he goes, which of these two train wrecks is least likely to fuck up in this game if I pick them? Right? That's literally where he's at.
He had a chance to get his boy Thiago Santos from Lille, granted he's a foreign player. But if they're going to go down that route, we're getting foreign players on the team and not get a right back from Italy that we have. There's a few of them. Why not get Santos, who's got the speed, he's got everything and he's young, and he's an upgrade from Royale. That didn't happen. And on John's point, by the way, everybody in the chat, let's hear your thoughts on the game as well. Please. I want to hear it. On John's, in terms of the Italian players, I brought it up on the pregame as well. Again, where's Liberali? He had a great preseason. He was one of the most talented players in the academy that we have. Nowhere to be seen. Carmada, we needed another potential striker on today's game. Fonseca said he's not ready.
Yeah.
Whatever. We have Zaroli. We're lacking midfielders. Zaroli's ready to play. He showed it last season. No, he's not even he's not even listed as a substitute. And now we're looking to get. It looks like we're closing the deal on this kid Voss from Ajax.
Oh, that. Can I say something about that?
Yeah, please do.
All right. The way this was covered in the Italian media, this kid from Ajax was worth 2.5 million, according to what Milan said. And the reason he was going to be bought out, it was going to be a Hauger type deal. He was going to come in and we were going to flip him for several times that amount to just make money. All of a sudden, Ajax said, we know what you're about to do. We raise his price to 10 million. You do not bring a kid for 10 million to sit in the Futuro project. Unfortunately, you bring a kid of that age for him to jump over the Futuro project players. What does that do to the Futuro players that want to make their space in the first squad, who have ambition to play in the first squad? This kid Vass has no business coming to AC Milan because he's no better than some of the players that we have in that Futuro squad. And he was not going to be flipped. For 10 million, he will not be flipped until he's worth 30 million or so, which means he'll need to be displayed in the first squad to do that. That's a huge kind of... Remember when Fonseca came in, Ibra said his objective is to come in so that the youth can be integrated into the first team. Bringing this kid in literally breaks every single one of those words. And people have to, like the fans, have to wake the hell up and just hold him to his words. Vass does not belong at AC Milan. For 10 million, he does not belong at our club. I'm sorry, we are not. That means he's going to the first squad, guys. Do you understand this?
Which is disrespectful to Zaroli and to the other kid, Alote, the other midfielder.
And you know what's extra fucking annoying about what's happening at the moment? You can tell by Antonio Conte's demeanor, right? He's not going to last longer than even a season at Napoli, right? You can just tell he's already checked out. He's already making excuses.
It's not a surprise.
So
Yeah.
so the thing is we can literally get a second shot, and I severely doubt, right, if it comes to next season and if Fonseca is out the door, right. I still couldn't see us going for Conte, because that would actually mean a quality
No,
manager that they'd have to
No, can you
supply the
imagine him
players.
butting heads with Ibra and
Nico, he's
Fonseca?
never. I mean, Shane, he's never coming. He's never coming.
No,
Shane.
it doesn't. They're not going to want to deal with that management, that kind of personality.
So that should tell every fan what, and I completely agree, but that should tell every fan what what the club is about now. And the problem with the playing staff is one thing. The problem with the coach is another thing. But at the top of that is the people hired by Cardinale, and I think now that they're the issue. I think there's no more hiding now. I think complaining about playing staff is one thing. It's clear and evident. We literally don't know. There seems to be a huge difference in between what they see as a balanced team versus what is a balanced team. It's kind of like me on Football Manager 2024, right? I can have an unbeaten season, right? But does that mean that I'm a quality manager? No. I can set up a team to go and attack, if I can, and do all these great things, right? But it doesn't necessarily mean, we can. But that's because I don't have enough knowledge about the tactics of the game, and I'd fail if I became a manager, right? So, yeah, it's clear and evident now that there's no one at the club that actually has an understanding of what is a balanced team. If they did, we wouldn't have waited for a full season to try and bring in a CDM. Very close to fail at that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And now, I mean, yeah, we're just getting run by amateurs. This is the problem. The people in charge at the club are the issue. It is not the playing staff.
It's a little bit of both, because Fonseca, I don't know how much control he has over the formation, but it looks like my thinking is that they brought him in because he plays the same thing as Pioli. He's not going to deviate. He's not going to change. He's not going to. They like playing that 4-2-3-1 for God knows what reason why. I don't know, because to play that kind of formation, you need two.
Just give me
really
2 minutes
good
to summon
midfielders.
at my door. 2 minutes.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right.
All right. So like I was saying, we're gonna go over the game in a minute. Go over some stats in a second here once Shane gets back. To get, and you know this, John, to play that kind of formation, you need two super high level midfielders.
Yeah, absolutely.
But also to know their position, like a Casemiro. Okay, not Casemiro because he's fucking done. He's washed up.
He's a bit too far.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but somebody like that who knows about positioning, knows to be in position at all times.
Yeah.
Because what happens to Giannis is always out of position. Loftus Cheeks is always out of position, and Musa as well, time and time again. And when that happens, you're leaving your two center backs all by themselves on a fucking island, right?
Yeah,
And that's
always.
and that's where you get countered time and time again. And if Parma had a high quality players like
we would have been 4 or 5 down, Nicko.
We would have been down 4 goals today. 4. That would have been, it wouldn't have been a 2-1 fucking loss. But the fact that they missed opportunities, they had their final passes were a little bit off, they were a little too heavy and shit. They didn't score enough goals. So I don't know where this is going. I really don't. But Fonseca needs to change. If he doesn't change formation,
check out the comments, Nicko.
Youssef, you want to read it off? Go ahead, John.
So Youssef posts some of the interview. Fonseca says it's hard to explain. It doesn't start with Musa. It starts further up the field. Overall, defensively, we were very poor. It's impossible to win when you defend like that.
That's on him, though.
Yeah, I'll keep reading because Youssef is doing us a great favor here. So we didn't defend as a team, and even individually, we lost our duels. We were always late in pressing, always leaving space with poor preventive marking. We made so many defensive mistakes. It's impossible to win a match when you make so many errors and allow a team like Parma to create so many chances. Oh, jeez.
So Go ahead,
Can you
John.
pay me $2.5 million to say things like this, Nicko? Can I just say something else about the pre-game? Because I did hear the pre-game yesterday. I was listening to an Italian channel, and there was a pre-game Fonseca, interview, and he said, "I'm going to keep the tactics to myself, but we're going to press high. We're going to go with Okafor up." I'm not joking, Nicko. I'm telling you the truth.
You shared this in the chat. Yeah.
I'm going to go with Okafor up top. I'm going to press high, and we know that it's going to be a very tough game because Parma like to counter. So he basically told everybody what he was going to do, and then he says, "But I'm going to keep my cards close to my chest." And then he says, "No, we're not sure about Pavlovic. Fofana is definitely not going to play, and Camarda is not ready." That was the crux of what he said. He basically said to the Parma coach, "Here you go, have 24 hours of knowing exactly how I'm going to play and come at me," which he did, to be fair to him.
So Yusuf added some stuff. So I'm gonna read off. People focus only on the defenders, but the defenders suffer a lot because how easily the opposition plays. It's everything. It's everything. The team has. He's going off a tangent, Yusuf. As a general problem against Torino, we didn't press too high and had problems today. We tried to have players press higher.
Yeah, press even higher. Yeah.
But this, Yusuf, this goes down to the coaching staff. This goes down to Fonseca not preparing his team correctly. You have a whole week of training sessions.
Oh, man, Nicko, listen to this, though. But this is good stuff. Listen to this. When the opposition breaks through the press, it's difficult to stay compact and regain our positions. When we do regain our positions, we become a passive team. There are many issues. It seems like a problem of attitude, energy, and the desire to defend as a team. And then he says, during the week, when we prepare our strategies, the team does well. Then the match starts, and we start like this. It's hard to explain. Fonseca. Thank you, Yusuf. That's insane.
He's throwing himself under the bus.
Thank you, Yusuf, for posting that. That's really, really good to hear.
Yeah, SB, yes, you're absolutely right. Why we're playing this high line. Pioli fell into the trap last year, time and time again. And I said it during the summer on previous podcasts. What I want to see is if the high press doesn't work, why not go to a mid block? But honestly, I don't think we even have the players for a mid block. For a mid block to work, like something like Parma has, you need midfielders that know how to marshal the other players around you. You need to work as a unit. You need everybody to work. In this case, we have players that slack off defensively. We have Leao, who doesn't defend.
Oh, no, he does not. Yeah, he's been this today. Wow.
If you have one person not willing to defend, now one leader on the pitch, who's the leader on the pitch to set you up defensively? No. Nobody's going to. You need to have the will to defend, and you cannot press. You can't. Nothing's going to work. No matter if you change tactics to a mid block, if you don't have the right players or the right mentality, the mid block's not going to work either. So this comes down to the coaching staff. It comes down to Fonseca and his assistant coach. Yeah, Ricard is 16. It's too early to sack him. Fuck. I wouldn't want to, but this is a poor start. Correct, John?
Oh, man. How can you in any way look at the last two games and think that there is some kind of plan behind the way we were playing? Honestly, both of you, can you see anything coming out of this at the moment? Is anything forming? Can you see the start, the roots of anything?
Europa League qualification.
Listen, Sean, guys, I could see it now. There's going to be a certain faction of the fan base. It's going to say, well, Fofana's not ready yet. Pavlovic is just getting started. Emerson Royal is just getting comfortable with the team. The usual excuses, time and time again. Oh, we had a great transfer window. Yada yada yada. No, we didn't. Fofana is not gonna close the gap between us and Inter anytime soon.
Neither is Fonseca. Let's be honest.
Okay, correct. If you wanted to really win, if you really wanted to compete, especially and level up your midfielders, you would have gotten you wouldn't get second string midfielders on the French team. Fofana doesn't even start for the national team, right? You would get a starting midfielder who plays for a national team. How about that kid Kante, the older kid from France? If you want to
Yeah.
go that route if you want to go with a French midfielder that knows what can play defensively, you get somebody like Kante. You pay 30 mil, and you be done with it.
SB, I think Fonseca isn't ready yet.
So he's not ready for anything.
That's great.
Guys, do you mind if I go through the stats really quick here?
Yeah,
Go
go
for
on,
it.
go.
All right, so obviously 2-1 loss. Mon had the goal in the second minute. Pulisic tied it in the 66th. And Cancelleri, right, that's his name? Matteo?
Cancellieri.
Cancelleri scored in the 77th, right? As
Cancellation.
close out the game. Cancellation. Let's look at some stats here. So possession. Obviously, we had more possession, 61 to 39. Expected goals, we had 2.01. They had 1.71. Big chances. Parma 4, us 3. Total shots 9 to 17. We had more shots on goal. Fouls 9 to 13. So tackles, they had 18-20. Let's get into the nitty gritty. We had 3 yellow cards, by the way, today. We had 0.
Pavlovic got one early on, didn't he?
Yeah, but I told you he has reckless challenges. He's not he's a raw player, John. Guys, he's super raw. He's not your like fucking world class defender. The kid's young. He's a brute. He's gonna cause these fouls time and time again. As long as he does those fouls outside of by the midfield, we're good. Okay, big chances scored 2-1. Big chances missed 2-2. Through balls, fouls in the final third 1-2. Offsides 2-0. All right, accurate passes. They had 308. We had 487. Final third phase, they were at 72%, 76. Long balls, crosses, duels. This is where, all right, my thing right now. Let's get into defensive stuff. Duels, they won 54 of them. We only won 46%. That's a huge thing right there. So yeah, aerial duels, they were 82. We're 18. We've only had 18. Only won 18% of our aerial duels. 18. That's fucking crazy. Defending, we won 70% of our tackles. They won 67. Yeah, listen, guys. Overall, like I said, the reason why we got caught the way we got caught is that we lost our duels out in the field. We didn't press, and we got eaten alive because of our midfield again. 8 is up. Theo was out of position time and time again. And Calabria and then Royale without cheese.
It's
the same. It's like I'm living like Groundhog Day with Pioli again.
Can we agree on something? In a sea of mediocrity, Pavlovic was the best player.
Yeah, he was. I give it to him. And Mike as well. Mike made some amazing fucking saves. If it wasn't for Mike, they would have scored another 2 goals at least. Easily.
Oh, dude. There was something else I wanted to mention, which I didn't get to talk about with you guys. It's that shirt.
Oh, yeah. Mint ice cream?
Yeah. So,
Chocolate
I've got to
chip?
say, this was released in Italy. That shirt in Italy is apparently 140 euros. With the shorts and with words on the back, it's a total of 200 euros for the Milan kit. It is mint green, the badge, has no red and black, and the shirt is, they call it grape, uva colored, right? Yesterday, a pretty big Milan YouTuber that I follow, unfortunately he doesn't do English, but he did an entire hour raging about what the marketing team wrote in the spiel regarding why people should buy that shirt. They said the shirt represents Milanismo. It represents everything that is great in our history in the club. And his comment was, I didn't know that Milan was famous for making mint ice cream and wine.
Brilliant. I'm not the only person that had the mint chocolate chip ice cream fucking vibe then. Okay. That's good.
No, and he said, "What the hell do you know about what Milanismo is?" And I think this is the point. They're trying to redefine what Milanismo is. You know, we're talking about when we lost Tonali, we basically lost the last player. What's going on?
Hold on,
Everyone's
guys.
disappeared. When we
Yeah.
lost Tonali, we basically lost the last player that was like his whole family liked Milan. He grew up as a Milan fan. Everyone else now is left in the youth team that is of that level, but they're not being integrated.
We had zero
This
Italian
shirt,
players on the fucking pitch at the end of the game.
yes, that's right, Shane. And we will in the next game. I predict we'll have none against Lazio. We'll have none. That's my prediction. That will be project pretty much complete. So I don't know what anybody wants to say about that shirt and you know how does that represent us? And by the way, I was with Fabio last week, right? On Coast to Coast, right? I was talking to him on Coast to Coast, and he said that this game was going to be one of the first ones televised on national television in the US. Can you imagine tuning in and seeing that? Yeah? Would you become a fan of Milan seeing that garbage? Would you
I
be like,
wouldn't.
you know, as Cardinale said, we've got potentially 50 million fans in the US. We don't now. I can tell you now. Because that looked like an ass team. And they're going to do, they look like garbage. And not only that, there was nothing on that picture represented Milan. The colors were not there. And they knew that this was going to be televised in the US. And you put in this third kit to try and sell a few jerseys. It's a scandal, man. It's really a scandal what they're doing. And the head of Puma saying, they even got a quote from him, and he said, "Oh, we're so glad to be working alongside you and representing the city of Milan." What about that shirt, guys? Please tell me what about that shirt means anything to you about our club.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Let me just. There's a couple things in the chat I want to bring up. A couple. So Nathan brought up a good point. Pavlovich got a lot of praise today, sure, but people missed how low his vision is, which is true. On that second goal, his vision is being aware, like his in the box, like spatial defending is not there yet. And that's how he was in the wrong position for that goal to score the second goal. So just an FYI, he's got a lot of things to work on, which we said already. But I think he'll improve. Also, like this one, shirt's crap by Ricardo 16.
Bravo, Ricardo.
Yeah, and SB, yes, we'll be better off once Redbird sells some, but that's not going to happen for God knows how long.
It's until that stadium's done, man. And God knows when that's going to happen.
Whatever the stadium is.
John, back to your point about the shirt. And we can all agree. I don't know where the marketing team came up with that fucking.
We got a picture of it somewhere. Can we put it up?
Did you see the ad for it with that girl? It looks like she was superimposed on the Milan shirt. Some random girl.
No, dude.
It looked
So
AI.
I think it was like fucking AI, and it looks like her hand was up Theo's fucking butt. She was grabbing his ass. Yeah, I don't know where these people are coming with that.
Let me try and get that picture, dude. I'm trying to get the picture so that you can see it, guys.
Yeah, I'm sure the people in the chat have seen that already. I'm sure it's it's floating around on Twitter or something. But like things like that, you're taking away, slowly stripping away the culture, the DNA of the club with this garbage.
Yes, and that was my point. That was my point, guys.
We shouldn't.
No, but that's my exactly. Shane and Nicko, exactly. You get exactly where I am coming from here. This is okay. I'm posting it on our chat, right? If you guys could, one of you could pull it up onto the, so we can just talk about it whilst it's up there.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's exactly my point. I think this is a directed from the top instruction to remove all of the history, all of the kind of traditionalists from the club, and to bring in this new generation of fan that will just say, okay, I accept this. I accept one win in every few, and maybe a little bit of a here we go, this.
Look at the girl on the bot. Look at this girl. Where she? That's like the most random girl. She's not even Italian looking.
But it's you see what I'm saying here is, look, listen, I'm no nationalist at all. You guys know this. I am not a nationalist at all. Um, but you have to kind of say, some people have an understanding. If you've grown up with for years supporting Milan, and your family has supported Milan, and you're going to play for Milan, you're going to give everything for that shirt until the very last minute. You can even play above your natural ability. What we have now is a squad of players who are basically coming in because of the Milan name and because of whatever Ibrahimovic, some of them say, and they just take a loss and walk off. You can't accept this as a fan base. We cannot accept this.
Yeah,
and
Ricardus, this is a great point, and I could see this fucking red birds. I could see them doing this. Replace the crest. That's what they'll do. Imagine.
Imagine
just
with an American eagle.
That's it.
Well, I don't want to go down that route, but I mean the point that was being made, right, in this big YouTuber's channel was that, look at that badge. There's nothing about it except for the shape. They should, at the very least, put some red or black on there. Those are our colors traditionally forever. Those are our colors. What the hell is this mint green and grape?
Yeah, you know what? We've done this before with our third kids, right? They're experimental, but putting that marketing slogan behind it about Milanismo and yada.
I think that's what made everyone. Yeah, that's what made the Italian fans explode. Is basically an explanation as to what Milanismo is to them.
Just say this is an artistic shirt and be done with it.
Yes. If you just say, look, this is an experimental third shirt, fair enough. Instead of saying this represents our Milanismo, which is our culture, when you look at this, you go, what the hell are you trying to tell? You're telling me what Milanismo is? Seriously? You're telling me what Grinta is? There's no Grinta on that pitch, dudes. I can tell you one thing. There was one player in the last game that had Grinta. His name was Morata. But, he got injured because he gave so much to that particular match.
Did you notice this at halftime? So when they were the players were still in the tunnel, and they'd showed the Milan players in the tunnel, and Musa was smiling and chatting with the referee at halftime. And it's going, you realize you're losing.
Yep, this is it, Shane. Exactly my point. Exactly my point, Shane. Were we laughing at halftime, guys? As Milan fans, were we sending text to each other saying, "Oh, this is so funny, this is so good"? No, we were furious. And this is, again, when people say you want Milan to lose, we do not want Milan to lose. Look at us today. No. We do not want Milan to lose. This is proof. Take this as proof. We want Milan to win, but we want Milan to win in a way that represents us as well. We want Milan to play in a way that represents us. And I'll tell you, I've said it before, I'll say it again. I wouldn't have minded if we had lost to Parma, if Zeroli had been on that pitch, if Camarda had been on that pitch, if I had seen something. I saw nothing today, guys. I saw a new player called Pavlovic try and do something as a defender, which, as we said, there are limitations to what he can do. But then I saw nothing else on that pitch. As I said, one slight good thing in a sea of mediocrity. Are you going to be okay for the whole season like this? Are you going to accept this and say that this is my Milan of 2024? Therefore, I will just sit here and let it wash over me?
And you know what? I think Fonseca needs to have a bit of balls here, right? Because, and I know this is going to sound a bit weird because Leao kind of did a lot of work for our goal, right? However, up to that point, he didn't do fucking anything, right? And he looked kind of just off. At some point, right, if a guy doesn't show up, even if he's your star player, right, you have to take him. Yeah. because we're not in the situation now that we should be entertaining this bullshit. I mean,
Fonseca doesn't have the balls to take him off.
that's the problem.
We got him
And he's
for
Portuguese as well, right? So
That's it.
even worse.
We got him in for 2.5 mil.
Yeah, that's the shocker.
He's a comedic coach. He dressed up. He's the same coach that dressed up at a Champions League press conference, dressed up as a fucking Zorro. How serious do you think he is? I mean, in terms of being tough on his players, this is the same thing with the U.S. men's national team, with Pulisic and Musa. We've had this guy Berhalter for how many years? And they keep saying how friendly he is with the players. He loves the players, and some players love it, but some players say we need a tougher coach to get us over the top. The same thing has happened to Milan. We had Pioli. He was a player friendly coach, right, to an extent, correct? And now we replaced it with Pioli 2.0 with the dad bod. But it's the same thing, guys. This is the same. He's a copycat. As much as we say he plays a little bit different, he plays this different build-up, yada yada. He doesn't play as direct as Pioli. It's the same formation, same defensive scheme, playing high up the line, leaving his explosive for counterattacks. He's not tough on his players because we all seen it too. Even during the preseason, Leao was lazy. For crying out loud, Jovic during the preseason. There's some people that I know went to one of the games. Jovic wasn't even during the warm-ups. He was half-assing it, right? And yet Colombo, who gave his heart and soul for the preseason, was busting his ass. Instead of him being kept on and saying, you know what, Jovic, you're not even giving 100% during preseason. How can we trust you to be on the first team? We get rid of Colombo.
Sorry,
it's good.
And we keep Jovic on. So how you can sit there and tell me that Fonseca will never, ever take Leao off the pitch?
Yeah. And Fonseca said that he was going to play players based on form. What? It's not the fact. It's not the case. He's gone back on everything, man.
Also, Yusuf just put something else. Yusuf, thanks for joining, by the way. Everybody else in chat, appreciate it. Musa, sometimes I had the doubt whether to go press high or remain in the back. Then I went aggressively and left the center backs behind me. We managed to be more aggressive and recover more balls from Musa. They didn't recover a lot of balls. I mean, I watched the game as well. Our counter pressing was not great.
No.
At all. Because we don't have the midfielders for it.
This is also a huge problem, right? So if you have a player that comes out and says, I wasn't sure whether to do a thing.
It's frightening, isn't it, Shane, when you hear that?
Didn't Musa say the same thing with Pioli as well?
He did, sir. Yes, he did.
I remember that.
That's what's scary. Nothing's changed.
That's 100% use of that is on Fonseca.
But it's also up to the player. The Fonseca is right. Yeah, he's directing them during the halftime, during the water breaks, or during if the ball's out of play, you call the player over to give him some instruction. But within the game, there's certain times the player's not going to hear the coach. It's impossible.
Yeah. Nicko, you've said this point before. You're right.
If you're an intelligent player, if you have the experience that Musa does not have,
it's a big if, Nicko.
Yeah, you're going to be able to make those decisions on your own with confidence. But if you have, like I said, if you have an experienced, seasoned midfielder, they're going to know what to do and say, you know what Fonseca is telling me is not fucking working right now. Let me not press up the high up the pitch and leave my center backs exposed. Let me drop back and not be out of position. That's what you should be doing as a player. But players like Musa, other players on the team that are young and inexperienced for international football, don't have that in them to make those decisions.
Do you know what we need to do? I think we need to. So starting from, I don't know, we'll probably half arse it in the winter transfer window like we usually do. But in the next, in the next upcoming, like next year in the transfer window, it can no longer be a thing where we're getting like 3 or 4 players for 20 million and hoping that they're going to become superstars in 2 or 3 years' time. I think we need to just get 2 good starting level, 50 million fucking players. Do you know what I mean?
So,
We need the
on
experience now.
that point, Shane, let's hear from the chat, guys. Who would you want to get in the next transfer window? If we had, forget about the 20 million cap.
Great question.
Give us your thoughts on that, and Lab Shane as well. I'd like to hear you guys on that.
I can tell you straight away. I want to get rid of this shitty manager. First thing, honestly, I mean, we said it at the beginning. Your ambition is demonstrated from the very top. At the very first position, they went for the cheapest manager they could get. And they were asked, why did you not go for Conte? And Ibra honestly said it, we don't have the pieces for Conte. Basically, we don't have the money and the ambition to match Conte's. So, yeah, Bellingham.
Yeah. Fuck that.
Here we go. You see it, Nicko. This is what you're going to open yourself up
Good.
to.
I'm glad. No, I want to hear it. I want to hear people with ambition.
I want Fonseca.
I want ambition.
I want a lame duck manager out, but I want ownership that understands that and will back him. The problem is, it doesn't matter who you get in. If they're not backed, they will not be able to do anything, right? As we said, Conte is a misfit for this club as it stands today. He couldn't do anything with these players. He wouldn't be as dumb. Like, what did we say at halftime? I mean, I was screaming at halftime and I was saying, please change formation. Do something really, really drastic because we cannot play the second half like this again. Did he? No. Okay? So, Conte, would he have probably tried something different? Yes. Conte is very intelligent. He would have forced something out of these players. That's different. But as you said, Shane, Conte more likely burns players out in a season, does quite well as he possibly can, and then he leaves the destruction in his trail. That's how he works. But would I take that for a Serie A title? I would. Yeah, but what I want is a manager that tries to play football. For God's sake, I have not... Oh, how much I'd give to have Gasperini. Honest to God. He does it in a financially sensible way, and he gets them to play amazing football. Yeah?
He gets the best out of his players.
He does.
You know what it's... Hi, Calcio Renozy. Thanks, man. Yeah, we're just trying to cope with what's going on right now. That's what's up.
Shane, who would you want to get in the next transfer window?
So, do you know what? I think we're kind of at the point where we have to be seen to be making big dick moves. And this, for me, would make a lot of sense. If we could get Osimhen, right? If we could, right?
Okay.
You're weakening Napoli. You're going, look, guys, you're shit. We're going to pick apart the carcass and take what we need from you. Good luck. You're going to be in Serie B in 5 years, right? So, that would be great. And then maybe 1 or 2 players from them if we could. That's really what I'd like to see. Because it just logically, that makes sense. We need to be buying from Italy. We need to be buying from Serie A. We need to be sucking up. Someone mentioned Ricci from, is it Torino?
Torino, he's a good player, yeah.
So, he'd be good. And I think that was Yusuf mentioned that as well. That'd be great. But, you can imagine we need to be in this, because for so long we haven't been, what's the term? Like we haven't been, proactive enough, right? And we haven't been going after like big ready-made players for so long. So if our balance sheets are this good, and if we can offload a load of deadwood, and if we can spend 50, 60, 70 million on a player, make this the statement signing. Make it Osimhen.
Guys, at the start of this transfer window, we were told that we had a budget of 100 million.
Oh, we do, but apparently they also didn't tell you that it's Ibra's own money, and Ibra doesn't want to spend it. Apparently,
Yeah, I doubt that. He's
I
just
doubt
being
that.
trying to impose
They're just
himself.
trying to to me all they're trying to do is just continue to stay positive in their balance sheets, and so they're selling young, talented players for very little money. Like honestly, everything about this stinks. We've been selling players for tiny amount of money, often with actually no fee but a sell-on clause in there, um, giving direct competitors players. So something stinks about this. We're waiting too long at the transfer window, so players don't have a full preseason. This is what happens when you don't have a full preseason. The players don't know what the hell they're doing because they've never played together. So these are the results that come. Then we bring in players who are below average standard. For what? We've saved a couple of. Yes, money laundering. Something's going on. Something really weird is going on. Simic, how much was he sold for?
3.
So yeah, that's
Three
just like nothing.
If it
It's
was
literally nothing.
if it was like at Atlanta, they would have sold him for like 20.
Yep.
for sure, man, for sure. Colombo, how much did he go for?
Nothing either. And how about the
This,
CDK deal? We gave CDK practically away for free.
To I would argue a
yeah,
direct competitor.
yeah.
So and back to what we were saying before, the players that what I like, if we're talking about Napoli, stripping them and sending them down to Serie B, give me Lobaka
Yeah.
and
Brilliant.
and Guza.
Yep.
Give me those two midfielders that are fucking terrors, and bring them on the squad, and watch us fucking have that grinta in the midfield.
Yeah.
And see how their fans are on Twitter after that.
Yeah, I could care less, but
I could.
that's like that's a fucking pipe dream. I
It
can't
is.
ever see us being that ambitious to get those kind of players on the team.
I can't see us fucking winning anything, let alone
No.
getting decent players on the team.
And remember, guys, and everybody in the chat, this year in the Champions League formats change. If we drop out of Champions League, we're not dropping down
Nope.
to Europa. We're out. That's it. No
I
more
think we
extra.
should. I was thinking, Nicholas, like once the draw is done, we should do like an episode to explain everything because it's
Yeah,
very different. I think we
it
should do it
is.
because also for me, I'd like to have some time to read over all of the potential outcomes. Um, yeah, but let's wait until the draw is done. I know we're in pot two because Rangers didn't qualify or something.
Imagine.
It's coming out soon, right? The draw, I think, at the end of the
Yeah, and it's
month.
in a few days, so I think we should do that episode soon. Once the draw is done, we should do an episode to kind of explain the different potential outcomes of the Champions League. But I've heard that too, Nico, which is there's no Europa League pillow.
There goes that extra money you were looking at, Jerry.
Yeah. Oh shit! Now we have to be competitive in the Champions League. Oh no.
Well, forget it, mate. Forget being competitive. This is not being competitive. What Torino and Parma, guys? I'm just gonna make the point. Torino and Parma, 1 point.
That's it. Inter beating Lecce.
Well, yeah, we all knew that Inter was going to get back to form.
That's it. Because they have they know what they're doing. They have a good project and a good coach.
Got a good project. They got a great coach.
Yeah,
We
what
are
should we expect against
absolutely
Lazio?
God
fucked.
damn it,
94 mess. We're fucked. Honestly.
No.
Honestly, mate, listen, do what I do. Do what I do. Cover a loss. Cover a loss in a draw. And you come out, in most cases, you come out better off, man. This is, at the current goal scoring conceding rate, we're going to concede 76 goals this season. I'm
That's
just
a new record.
saying.
I'll beat last year's record.
Yeah.
No, I
Well,
think honestly we're not winning this guy. Do you know what? I think we'll come out with a bit more fighting spirit because we've done this in the past, and I think we'll do it again.
Set it out,
But-
Champions League together, all the
Yeah.
competition, Coppa d'Italia, over 70 goals. No, I'm joking. Only over 50 goals, most likely. We carry on like this.
Second round, 4 goals conceded. Fucking let's go.
Yeah, and to Yusuf's point, I don't know if he's going to revert back to a 3-4-3. I think he played that at Roma at some
Yeah.
point. Do we have the players? Yeah, we have the players, but will he have the balls to change formation and possibly, um, you know, piss off Ibra? 'Cause like I said, I think Ibra wants this, likes that formation for some odd reason.
I think
He's
we
got a
got
hard
to
out for it.
we got to wrap up.
Yeah, let's wrap it up. But yeah, everybody, thanks for tuning in. This post game.
As I said, guys, please, everyone, buy yourselves one of these, right? Okay, for the next game. Be ready. You'll need
to
it.
bang your head against the wall.
And
Yeah.
please don't waste any money on the new merch. Go and support your local Milan club. Buy some retro jerseys if you want,
Yeah.
because believe me, they fit way better, they look way better, and yeah, it means a lot more to wear the retro shit in this new trunk.
Well said, Shane. Really well said, Shane. Yeah, all the best, everyone. It was good to talk after the game.
Hey, Lab, always.
Yeah, I'll speak to you soon. All right, guys.
Take it easy, Lab.
Forza Milan.
Forza Milan.
See ya.
All right. Yeah, listen, Shane, any final thoughts? Anything else you want to leave off?
No, I'm just kind of at the acceptance phase of this shit show at the moment. So because it was kind of harsh, like because what I learned with this management is not to get excited about new signings. So for me, the way that I've treated most of this transfer window is where we're not necessarily adding quality. We're just replacing what we've lost for the most part, outside of Fofana, who is, we've needed a CDM for a long time. So none of this is surprising. However, that being said, if it's not surprising to me, it's not going to be surprising to a lot of other fans. And if fans are not being surprised by something and they see that there's an issue, how is someone in a position at the club that you would expect should be able to see these issues isn't seeing it? It's very frightening. It doesn't leave me full of confidence. And I think, unfortunately, Ibrahimovic is probably the last person that should be in the role he's in at the moment. So
100%. 100%. Yeah, for me, I'm hoping if the next couple of games versus these smaller teams, if I don't see the young kids come up, given a chance, Kamada, Liberali, Zeroli, that at that point, I want to be 100% confident in my theory that they don't want to promote these kids at all.
that's
That
it.
they'll
And
and Shane, yeah, go ahead. I'll continue.
Well, it'd be beneficial with that, because if it doesn't happen, which I don't think it will happen, then you can literally say that anything that we get told by the likes of Ibra or Furlani is just a blatant lie. So believe the opposite.
We've been saying that even when the summer before the season kicked off.
Sorry.
Christ.
Sorry. Give me to turn that off.
Yeah, I think you're good. Yeah, I think you're solid. Yeah, I think we're. Fucking Christ, got fire trucks coming to put out the fire from today's game.
Yeah.
No, like I was going to continue my train of thought. Because it comes down to, it tells every other academy player coming up from the U17, coming up the ranks of the academy for Milan. What's your chance of you actually being given a chance at the starting team? Right, and that, why would you even want to sign up for Milan or accept a contract if that's your goal? If you grew up a Milanista all your life, your family generation, and you get a call from Milan and say, hey, we want you to our academy. They call you up, you get signed. And you keep seeing this pattern where it's becoming more of an American team. They're stripping away the history of the club a little bit, piece by piece. And then they're giving these other kids who are not from Italy who don't know anything about bleeding for the badge or rooting for the team, who are like Vlas and other players like that, they're giving him a crack at the starting role.
That's true, because I think for me as well, what's this is very
Let's wrap.
interesting.
Go ahead. I need to
So,
wrap this up in a minute. Yeah.
oh yeah, no, I just wanted to say, I don't think for me, when I see Musa play, for many reasons, it may be because he doesn't know what he's meant to do on the team, but I don't see any reason why Zeroli couldn't be starting over Musa. That's it. That's all I got.
Let's see what happens. Listen, we'll keep supporting the club always, right? It's not going to stop. And that's the reason we're doing these pods. I know a faction of the fan base are going to say, "Oh, we're fake fans. We're not supporting the club," et cetera, et cetera. But we love the club. We've been myself, Shane, John. We've loved this club for so many years. I'm sure everybody in this chat feels the same way. All right, they probably feel the same way as we do to a certain extent. All right, but that being said, let's hope Fonseca, has certain things to control. Maybe he can't control the plays he's going to get, but change his formation, make some changes tactically, especially defensively, and maybe we'll squeak out a couple wins, be competitive against Inter, not lose 4-0. And at the end of the season, of course, we'd love to win some trophies, but fuck, man, I don't know. But hopefully, I think for myself, I want more, just to see more of the traditions being kept, if nothing else. So let's see what happens. Other than that, I think we'll wrap this up. Everybody, thanks for tuning in on today's post-game show. Shane, thanks for hopping on as well and leading us in the show as well. 94 Mass, Youssef, Ricardo 16, Nathan, a few other people were in the chat earlier. Thanks for locking in. Thanks for supporting the channel. All right, and always Forza Milan.
Forza Milan. See you guys.
See ya.